Well, good afternoon, First Baptist Church. Welcome to the Monday blog. I haven't done one in a while. I've been busy preaching and coaching baseball and a lot of things, but I really wanted to get back to them. And where I want to go is the book of Jonah. And today I want to do almost like a preface where we start talking about who the author was. And we believe that the author was either Jonah or a Hebrew sage, somebody that was seeking wisdom. But either way, Jonah's the one telling the story. I mean, in the book of Jonah, it talks about him being in the belly of the fish, and only Jonah was in the belly of the fish. So we know that the author at least comes from Jonah telling the story. The second aspect is this genre. They're using a short story, much like Esther or Ruth, where they're using a short story to tell something that's going to happen in the future, to talk about God's plan. And God's plan is the Messiah, and the Messiah is Jesus. And when we look at the Bible, we need to take what Jesus says and then relate that to the rest of the Old Testament. So that's going to lead us to where I share my screen here today. We're going to go to Matthew 12, starting at verse 38. And Jesus very clearly says that Jonah was a real man who was in a real fish, who really spent 3 days there, and he came out and he preached to Nineveh, and they were repentant. We see that right here. For just as Noah was in the fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so will the Son of Man be there 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Now, Jesus isn't saying that he went to hell and he paid all our for our punishment in hell. No, when Jesus said it was finished on the cross, it was finished. At that moment, when he dies, everything was conquered. And Jesus, he goes down, and it's more of a victory lap. He's saying, I've conquered evil. Watch this as people come to Jesus Christ. Much like they did in Nineveh. Nineveh, people gave their life to God. The men of Nineveh will rise up a judgment of this generation and condemn it. He's saying they are with me in heaven. These people were repentant. They believed that there was a Messiah to come. And they did that from Jonah's preaching. But yet so many of you will not do that because of my preaching. I am the better Jonah. In so many places in the Old Testament, Jesus is the better Moses. He's the better Jonah. He's the better everything. He's the perfect of all of these. He's the completion of it. And there's no difference in the book of Jonah. And so as we look at this book, I really want us to understand how it relates not only to Jesus being the better Jonah, but how we as the church need to act. Because Israel at the time was seeing themselves as being superior. And it wasn't necessarily they were superior because of the things that they done, even though they felt that way. They were superior because what God had done in their lives. God had set them apart. And we should be humble as the church and understand that we were set apart. And that we should never look down on anybody. I mean, if Jonah could go, even though he wasn't willing, and go to Nineveh, which was a tyrant of a nation, they did awful things. There was parts where they would take ropes and put them between the leaders of the nations and drag them around like dogs. If those people could be repentant, if those people could be saved by God, then anybody in this nation or this world that we live in could be saved. So let us as the church relate to that and humble ourselves and go to the people in this world. So thank you for tuning in today, and we're going to start Jonah 1 next week as we work through the next 12 weeks with Jonah. Thank you and have a wonderful day.